All right, here we go. So this was the start of my matches for Saturday. This was a rematch against someone that tanked my defense with double saves, which hasn't happened in a long time in light season. It was really interesting to see, primarily because I did not incorporate Ather Tree Man into my defense this season, since Valley is bonus and we're just going to keep using Valley for a bit longer. So that was a successful strategy for them. They also played pretty well. It wasn't just Alfred tanking everything. The player was able to maneuver around the map and position really well to avoid some of the worst threats. And they also had the ice terrain with the ice terrain with the corn ring to prevent some of the units getting in. He took out Camilla, who would have been the biggest threat. So that was all really well planned out. So it was a pretty good clear. So this was my attempt to get back here, which I gotta say, it ended spectacularly in defeat. So you're just gonna, I'm gonna let it play out here. Actually, we're starting off here on turn 1. Not a lot that I could do here on the first. Well, I had space and time to wait, so I decided to actually utilize that opportunity. We covered a lot of threat range here with Camilla, Yunaka, and Harmonic Ike. So I just cut here to turn 3 so that you can see, when things actually started to get going. I spent the first 2 turns just breaking stuff, stepping on traps, stuff like that. Nothing really substantial. But this is where the meat of the activity started to take place here. Turn 3 onwards, got the Lucina in, who I gotta say, I'm actually starting to wear out on. Not that she's bad or anything, but I'm actually starting to consider, I have her on like all of my light season teams, so I'm starting to consider who could potentially replace her in that extra slot coming out on turn 3. Lately I've been thinking of using the Crom there, but I just dislike him greatly, so I don't know if I'll ever go down that route. But maybe there'll be a unit that comes out eventually that will tickle my fancy and make me want to use them there. Potentially, I think it would have to be a dancer. I don't know. Let's see how that goes. If not a dancer, then some type of nuke that can really help me out. Coming in on turn 3. I don't know who that would be and how that would look, but yeah, I'm starting to consider that it's probably time to bring someone in, because she's just such a staple on the team. And I've been using her since the Ninja banner, so just wondering if it's, like, personally a little bit boring. I don't know. But at least for now, she'll still be around because I don't have any immediate replacements in mind. But you saw there, we were able to take out Jimbro as a 1-tap, which is definitely something that we needed to happen there. Would have wasted too many actions otherwise. And the rest of it here is just me trying to get in. I kind of forgot that the ice would have been there. And I forgot that I did not position Hearthfulger. So essentially, the thing that kind of cost me this match here is that the 2 Hearthfulgers were in the wrong position on turn 3. I needed the Hearthfulger here, the blue one, Mythic. I needed her to have cancel, which was a massive mistake on my part, because she kind of got stuck there. I needed that spot to be free so that someone else could have come in and taken out Freya. And since because she didn't have Kanto, the only way to get her out of the spot, or the best way to get her out of the spot, was to dance. But then the dance kind of forced me to smite her into the corner, and then when you shadow shift, you get stuck in the position that you shadow shift. It was just a calamity of errors that resulted from not having Kanto on this Mythic Hearthfulger, and also just, as I said, positioning them incorrectly to begin with. Also, I guess it could be said that if I had attacked with the New Year's version, I'm running Erica Ring on her, that would have been a loss. But then also, I didn't really need the extra firepower from the Erica Ring. I found, like, as I went through, clearing the defense here, the extra firepower wasn't really necessary. So I don't know, maybe that's something that I will adjust in the future. the brave hits aren't really needed on her because she just does so much damage. Your primary concern is just her surviving a counterattack, brave hit or otherwise. So that's really what you want to equip her to do. You want her to be able to take a hit and then get to her second and third hits, depending on what you're running, or maybe just trample. Trample is really good on her. Dive bomb. Ooh, dive bomb. Yeah, we just got a dive bomb seal. That's actually fantastic. That's something that I'll probably do. Because in terms of the matchup of her versus Jimbro, one of the things that usually happens is that if he's able to counterattack, he can sometimes just one-shot her. So the way that I've been counteracting that is with brave hits or, well, not necessarily desperation, but just support in general to make her tankier. But if I'm able to get the dive bomb off, then that probably won't be as much of an issue, which I guess it depends on her being able to win the defense check. And I'm not quite sure if she's going to be able to do that. But more than likely, with all of the support that I have here, something can give. I'll test it out just to see how it works against Armored Bro, who is, I think, going to start phasing out. So we're going to start seeing more Alfred. Granted, I don't know how many people actually summon for him, or are aware that he's good, but he's very good. So I think he's going to slowly start to phase out Armored Bro, who is still a good save, overall. But there's a lot of things that people have figured out the ways to get through him, at your command. Which is really what it boils down to. So since Alfred is more of an unknown, it's going to take a little bit more time for people to start, getting up to speed with how good Alfred is, and which units are capable of taking him out, which this Baldr is just not able to do. This Baldr, New Year's Baldr, really struggles against Alfred. So this right here was me attacking into Valley just to get the terrain here. That's the only reason why. Or actually also I wanted to be able to warp in a bit closer as well. But that was the main reason to get the terrain in. And from there, I had a couple of options, a couple of decisions to make to be able to continue trying to clear the defense. This point here, options, take out Ather. Well, let's start off with who needs to go. Ike needs to go. Camilla needs to go. Baldr needs to go. Mythic. Valley also needs to go. And Yunaka. Pretty much everyone here needs to die. And that was really the thing that won my opponent the match here, because there was so many threatening options that I just could not leave around. It really kind of made the decision very difficult for me in terms of who to take out first and in what order to do it in, and how to exactly go about doing it. I did end up with a strategy of leaving Yunaka alive, which you will see ended up being the wrong decision, and you will see why. But Camilla, who is again positioned in the corner there, safe behind Yunaka and Baldr, with the Makaya ring, was the biggest threat to me, alongside the fact that Summer Ather is still a fantastic unit. She kind of makes this whole defense work. In terms of being able to chase the opponent, which is definitely something you want your defense to be able to do. So he has 3 units here that can chase because of, 2 units here that can chase because of Ather. So, or at least 1. It depends on who uses the positional skill first to then, absorb the Divine Nectar proc. Because whichever one of them swap first will probably use it up, because there's so many, they're all in position around Ather. So whoever uses the swap first or the positional assist first will absorb the Divine Nectar. But there's a lot of options, which is why I was thinking to get rid of Ather with Sather earlier, which is why you see me do the damage check there, and I was wondering if that was a good idea or not. But then I also had to take out Ike because he's a duo unit, and I wanted my duo dance, like I said, and the rest of my duo abilities. So I ended up doing this, which I think this play was the right play at the time. I can't think of a better play. The only other option was for me to actually attack with Ather, and then attacking with Ather on that trap, which I wasn't sure if it was real or not, could have potentially been, you know, game ending. That could have been an automatic loss right there. The trap in front of Ike is real. I was checking for Bulwark there. I think Summer Hathern also comes with Bulwark in her kit somewhere. I forget where. Probably in the weapon or something. And then Ike also has Bulwark. So there's just so many things here that I had to consider. Ike needed to go because Harmonic, and I needed the dual hindrance free so that I could use my duo stuff. And because of that decision, I ended up not taking out Yunaka. And I kind of wanted to take out Yunaka as well because Yunaka had cancel control and it was being kind of annoying. And then also, because of the distance moved, I was not able to go all the way and end Camilla's action because Baldr, I'm going to take out Baldr. So once Baldr is gone, then Camilla would have been the only one in that position. But since I did not have the distance moved to be able to get over to that section, or as well as the fact that I wasn't sure if it would have worked out, then I kind of just ended up in me losing because of that. So yeah, a lot of factors went into that decision there. And then, you know, once Ike was gone, I was able to start popping my duo skills, one after the other. Unfortunately here, you'll see Lynn here, Mythic Lynn in the back, kind of not doing anything, which is really unfortunate. I was trying to figure out a way to get her up there, but I already used the swap. The swap that was in the Makai ring on her, so that was used up, and there wasn't really a way for me to get her further up the map, unfortunately. So it would have been great if I was able to get her action in there somehow. Would have given me an additional option at least. She wasn't really able to take out Ike, or that Ike at least. She has taken out Ikes before, but that one that we ran into, she wasn't able to do it. The trap placements meant that it would have been difficult for her to get all the way up to the map, so to the top of the map. So it's still having units getting stuck in the back. It's not ideal. You really want to get your entire team up there, and I haven't really figured out a way to do that yet, aside from the Golvig team, because Golvig gives that support. But yeah, we were able to get Lucina up there. And you know, remember earlier where I was saying that I wanted to get rid of Lucina for someone else? Lucina is still really good coming in clutch in the late game here on turn 3, because there aren't that many units that I would have been able to run that play with and have Lucina come up, and she's able to actually take out all 3 of these units depending on who I would have attacked with. I had to go with Hathern because, as you can see there, Bulwark, I wasn't able to move to where Baldr is, so I had to go with Hathern. Actually, this was another choice that I had to make. Hearthfelger here has 2 options. I think this is kind of where I threw, but also I had to end or position it so that Yunaka's action was ended, because there's the rest of them are melee units, so unless I was going to face tank Summer Hathern, who hits hard, and then potentially kill her with... if I was going to face tank Hathern, it would have to have been with Lucina. I don't think Lucina would have survived. And then the other option would have been to try to tank her with one of the melee units, and I think all of the melee units would have killed her, except for Hearthfelger, who would have died because she's on Mythic Hearthfelger. Would have died because she's on low health, so that also wouldn't have been a good play. 45, maybe I would have survived. I don't know, it's enemy phasing there. I did not have a ton of faith in there, and also I'm not sure if Lucina was able to take out
we're stronger. I will greet them.
Yeah, Lucina was able to take out Yunaka, so maybe that would have been the better play. Tried to end the action on Hathern, but I don't think we would have met the res check. I don't know, maybe that's where I lost the match. Because like I said, I ended up losing because Yunaka here.
I understand.
I said she had Kanto control, right? Yunaka here has firm Kanto control.
Celebrate the new year.
Yatta! I mean, how often do you see that nowadays? And I completely overlooked it because up until this point, the entirety of my play was hinged on pinning this Yunaka and ending her action to be able to win. But as you just saw there, she cleansed the end turn shenanigans, and because she can warp to wherever she wants to, because of all of the terrains, she's just able to have her pick at whoever she wants to attack. And she chose red versus green, ton of damage, and that is GG's. I was very, very shocked when that happened. I did not realize that this was the firm version of cancel control, which meant that my entire strategy, which hinged on this Yunaka not being able to move, completely fell apart. So I don't know, man. Overall, I think I made a few bad choices there in terms of units picked to take out. But I don't know. I don't think I would have played that any different if I were to do it again. I think I probably would have ended up in the same situation. So this was a failed rematch. My opponent got the better of me this time. GG's.